Caitlin Clark, almost unanimous, -1. Angel Reese received one first place vote for Rookie of the Year.
Stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is.
Only one vote separated Caitlin Clark from being the unanimous choice for Rookie of the Year. Interestingly, Angel Reese was the recipient of that one vote, a choice that has generated a lot of controversy because it appears to go against the fundamental principles that these honors are intended to uphold. The tension intensifies as it is revealed that a WNBA great who was once regarded as a model of the sport was involved in a plot to prevent Clark from winning as a rookie. Nobody had yet to discover which seasoned player had planned this scheme, influencing a journalist's vote against Clark through bribery. Fans who had idolized this legend as an invincible icon are devastated when her secret jealousy is revealed. The mystery doesn't end there. Someone seems to have been voting for Angel Reese on purpose. Maybe it was just one person who supported Reese for MVP and Rookie of the Year. Why? Because Caitlin Clark's quick ascent garnered the attention that this legend had been accumulating for years. Ironically, this legend won the season's most coveted WNBA championship on the same day that Clark won her Roy Award. Be prepared, the plot becomes far more complex than a simple misvote if you figured it out. This offers a peek into the inner workings of the media ecosystem inside sports, but it goes beyond that. Press members, who were entrusted with documenting these athletic achievements, are suddenly involved in a story where statistics like Clark's incredible 19.2 points per game, her 8.4 assists, and her 5.7 rebounds seem virtually unimportant in comparison to the drama that is developing. Even if these figures are impressive, they only tell part of the tale. Even though Clark dominated practically every rookie metric imaginable, it says much about her that she was unable to get a unanimous vote. This raises the question, is promoting the league's integrity the aim here? Concerns have been raised by the reluctance of individuals such as Andrea to completely accept Clark's indisputable skill. The Chicago Sky's Angel Reese received a single vote rather than a landslide victory. This was not a casual mistake, or rather, it was a calculated, out-of-character move that has rocked the league, confusing supporters and leaving pundits inconsolable. How could Caitlin Clark, a rookie who deserves every honor, not receive them all? This one controversial vote is more than just a talking point. It's a springboard for a more thorough investigation of what and who drives decisions within. The true story, as the league deals with the aftermath, might be how a single act of resistance can expose much more serious problems in the professional sports industry. The one vote that ended Caitlin Clark's nearly flawless Rookie of the Year, Roy sweep, is the subject of a heated discussion. Although some could contend that giving a roster position to a less worthy applicant could compromise the integrity of the game, the problem here goes deeper. Caitlin Clark received an incredible 66 out of 67 votes for the Roy Award when the results were counted. A combination of 24 local journalists and 43 national sports writers from different WNBA markets cast their votes. This resounding agreement demonstrates the widespread support for Clark's outstanding debut campaign. The lone dissenting vote, however, seems to be an intentional attempt to damage Clark's otherwise impeccable record, rather than just a difference of opinion. This was a calculated strike that struck at the very center of Clark's historic season, not a harmless deviance or moment of revolt against the norm. Crucial questions concerning the reasons for this decision and its effects on the sport are brought up by such an act. The question became more complex when it was revealed that journalist Cameron Duncan had cast this vote. Why would Duncan have chosen Angel Reese, whose season was admirable but fell short of Clark's record-breaking accomplishments, in spite of Clark's exceptional stats? Rumors that this was not just Duncan's own decision, but may have been influenced by WNBA star A'ja Wilson further complicate the story. Wilson may have sensed an opportunity to guarantee that her singular accomplishment stayed unrivaled after winning the MVP award in 2024 with every vote, achieving a unanimous victory that hasn't been surpassed since Cynthia Cooper in 1997. Her purported attempt to influence the vote is more than just a case of meddling. It suggests a more complex plan to preserve her standing in the league by subtly influencing the Roy Award's outcome. This circumstance goes beyond a simple Roy vote. It may have implications for the WNBA's larger power, impact, and legacy dynamics. Wilson may have tried to prevent her exceptional record from being eclipsed by another emerging star's flawless league debut by interfering in the Roy vote. If accurate, this would expose an unsettling level of politics and private interests that might jeopardize the meritocratic ideals that underpin sports. The WNBA must be careful to preserve not just the competitiveness, but also the integrity of its awards and recognitions, since such acts not only affect the people directly engaged, but also have the potential to undermine public confidence in the fairness and transparency of league operations. This one vote, which may not seem like much, has sparked a larger discussion about the principles we uphold in the sports industry and the extent people will go to in order to maintain their own honors above the sport's overall culture. Let me explain something that many of you have been wondering. Even though Caitlin Clark has obviously dominated the season, why hasn't the WNBA addressed the Rookie of the Year award? No official awards have been announced as of yet. However, A'ja Wilson's own distinctive accomplishments, the ones that made her stand out, like her spotless record, were in jeopardy as Caitlin Clark's popularity started to soar and eclipse other noteworthy performances. Wilson seemed to take matters into her own hands in an attempt to keep Clark from winning a unanimous Rookie of the Year award, something she herself had never accomplished, as Clark continued to rack up votes for the award. At this point, the story progresses from simple rivalry to dramatic intensity. Duncan's vote was not a random decision, rather, it was a well-thought-out action that was directed by higher authorities. Wilson is said to have persuaded Duncan to support Reese over Clark, not because Reese was the more worthy candidate, quite the opposite, but rather as a calculated move to keep Clark from winning the election without a hitch. This move wasn't about Reese at all, rather, it was about protecting Wilson's legacy and making sure Clark wasn't the only player in the league with that record. What makes Angel Reese unlikable to you? How come you don't like black people? I don't understand that you're black. These are the terms used to frame the story as a racial one when, in reality, it was a purposeful diversion in the political game of basketball. Caught in the crossfire, Angel Reese wasn't really a Rookie of the Year candidate. Although she was the ideal diversion, Clark's outstanding performance overshadowed her respectable stats. This made it possible for Wilson to be unharmed while the public concentrated on Reese, leaving Duncan to deal with the fallout as Wilson purposefully withdrew from the conflict. As the community makes the connections and reveals Wilson's plan to the league as a whole, the plot is now coming apart. Voices like Molly's surfaced during this discussion, casting doubt on Clark's competence and her authority to criticize the current quo. Really? Clark can score around 20 points every game on average, so why is she suddenly incapable of pointing out dubious tactics? By trivializing her accomplishments, implying that the numbers that emphasize her performance when it's convenient abruptly lose their significance, this type of discourse seeks to minimize Clark's justifiable worries. Beyond just a missing award, this situation serves as a stark illustration of how power struggles and covert goals can affect professional sports league reputations and careers. As more information becomes available, the WNBA's credibility is questioned, and the case serves as a litmus test for the league's dedication to justice and openness. Will the WNBA speak out about the drama that is developing, or will it keep quiet in the hopes that the matter would go away? However, neither Caitlin Clark nor the fans will forget. The wider ramifications for the sport as a whole are at stake here, and even if A'ja Wilson's record is spotless, the legacy she leaves behind could be damaged by the lingering effects of this experience. You should reconsider if you believe that the drama had subsided. The fact that Caitlin Clark lost out on a unanimous Rookie of the Year vote is more than simply a vote. It's a well-thought-out action that makes a strong statement. Although Caitlin Clark is currently the WNBA's emerging star, A'ja Wilson is still the league's current queen. Anyone who dares to dispute her power soon discovers who is in actual control of the game. Clark's Rookie of the Year victory was tainted by a single rogue vote, which has revealed a deeper level of league politics and interpersonal conflicts. What other backroom dealings take place if A'ja Wilson can quietly sway an award choice by whispering to a reporter? The WNBA's reputation has taken a serious hit, and while Clark herself may not be sleeping over this, the fans are furious. The way the league has handled Caitlin Clark's case has shown that it is ill-prepared and reluctant, and that it treats its stars with some animosity. The WNBA may be attempting to weather the storm in the hopes that it will pass and be forgotten, as seen by the lack of an official response, comments, investigations, or anything else. However, both Caitlin Clark and the audience have long memories. Not only is it a defeat for one player when a unanimous Rookie of the Year win is openly revoked, but it also damages the reputation of the entire sport. Furthermore, even if A'ja Wilson's record is still flawless in theory, the way this situation has developed could damage her reputation if the whole truth is revealed. Given that Wilson has fought her way up the ranks and understands what it's like to compete for every honor, many may have assumed she was just being competitive. However, racism is a more pernicious problem at play here than rivalry or jealousy. Sue Bird's recent response to Wilson's previous remarks in the context of growing conversations about racial inequality in the league, especially after some contentious tweets that were sent before Caitlin Clark even joined the WNBA resurface, highlighted this. What started off as a simple vote turned into a contentious issue that suggests racial undertones play a role in determining who gets attention and who doesn't in the WNBA. It's difficult to overlook the patterns that show up as we dig deeper. Despite Clark's impressive stats, he leads the rookie pack with an average of 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. Some writers choose to vote for Angel Reese. Few people have thought about whether Duncan was acting under the direction of higher authorities within the league, despite the fact that many were eager to condemn him for his seemingly illogical decision. How could a true sports fan believe that Angel Reese won Rookie of the Year instead of Clark? This is about how those in positions of authority influence narratives, not just about sports. Wilson's remarks on the league having its darlings caused controversy back in 2020, when rookie Sabrina Ionescu was gaining a lot of attention. This suggests that Wilson prefers some stories above others. This encompasses more than simply what takes place on the court. It also includes how players help one another, how fans see them, and what goes on off court. Given Clark's current circumstances, it is evident that the WNBA is at a turning point. Will it address the structural problems that this dispute has exposed, or will it stick to antiquated practices? The league's overall course, as well as the future of players like Caitlin Clark, will be decided by the responses to these questions.